10 U.S. World War II propaganda cartoons. Der Fuhrers Face, 1943. Starring Disney's favorite, Donald Duck, Der Fuhrers Face is a simple anti-Nazi propaganda film that went on to win the Academy Award for the Best Animated Short and is the only Donald Duck cartoon to win an Oscar. The message behind this one is straightforward. Hitler and the Nazis are your enemies. Support our troops and back the war effort. The short depicts Donald as an oppressed citizen of Nazi land, where almost everything is shaped like a swastika or an allusion to Hitler. He soon finds himself forced to work 48 hours every day to produce shells for the Fuhrer's war effort. Eventually, he goes mad from stress, only to wake up home in America, relieved that his previous experience was all just a dream. Daffy the Commando, 1943. Daffy Duck is portrayed as a commando who parachutes down into the German trenches to raise hell. He bedevils the German commander von Vulture and his sidekick Little Schultz, providing plenty of opportunities for anti-Nazi jokes along the way. After von Vulture blows Daffy's plane to bits with a machine gun, he hides in a dark tunnel, which turns out to be the barrel of a long-range cannon. Daffy is shot out of it and lands in Berlin, where Adolf Hitler is shrilly haranguing a crowd. Daffy has the honor of hitting Hitler over the head with a mallet, upon which Der Fuhrer gave an indignant shout of "Schultz!" Education for Death, The Making of the Nazi, 1943. Considerably different to the average Disney short, Education for Death is based on a book by Gregor Ziemer and features none of Disney's usual characters. It follows the life of a German boy called Hans from his birth through his teens. By being told distorted fairy tales glorifying Hitler as a toddler, being taught to hate a bunny getting eaten by a fox, since the strong shall rule the weak, burning books, and then, after the next few years being spent marching and hiling and marching, he has become a good Nazi who says, thinks, and does only what he's told to. All things considered, it did show that not all Germans accepted National Socialism of their own free will, but rather were forced and indoctrinated into it from a young age. Jabo Tours, 1942. Similarly, Famous Studios did 4 war-themed Superman shorts. One of them is called Jabo Tours, which is a portmanteau of the ethnic slur Jap and the word saboteur. The cartoon covers Superman's adventures stopping Japanese spies from hijacking the world's largest bombing plane and bringing it to Tokyo. Of course, Lois Lane flies along, and both she and the plane have to be rescued by Superman. Hair Meets Hair, 1945. This short, coming a few months before the collapse of the Third Reich, was one of the last major wartime cartoons from Warner Brothers. It features Bugs Bunny outwitting Nazi politician Hermann Göring and meeting Adolf Hitler in a final showdown. This cartoon is notable for being the first time Bugs is depicted tunneling underground as a mode of transportation, and the first time he says, "I knew I should have taken a left turn at Albuquerque." You're a sap, Mr. Jap, 1942. This cartoon was kept out of commercial release for years due to its racially offensive caricatures of Japanese people. Buck teeth, glasses, wooden sandals, saying so sorry a lot, being sneaky, manufacturing cheap products, and so on. And to the climactic sequence that depicts a Japanese soldier mourning the Navy's impending loss to Popeye, drinking gasoline, eating firecrackers, lighting a match, and then wrapping his body around Popeye's. Popeye looks down the soldier's throat, realizes he's about to explode, and abandons the ship. It's all done in a strangely non-slapstick manner. The Ductators, 1942. This short is notable for being a satirical allegory for World War II, depicting Adolf Hitler, Benito Mussolini, and Hirohito as ducks and geese who take over a farm, while a peace dove lets it all happen. Near the end, the dove overthrows the Axis powers and saves the day. Years later, the dove, now a brave war hero, gets married and has 2 children, one named Peace and the other named Quiet. The dove explains to his children that even though he hates war, he chose to be brave and stand up against the Axis powers. Commando Duck, 1944. With a not-so-subtle reminder of who America was fighting, and lines like, "Japanese custom always stays shooting a man in the back, please," this is one Disney cartoon that reflects the desperation of the war effort by 1944. It features Donald being parachuted into the jungle of a remote Pacific island with the mission to wipe out a Japanese airfield undetected. He accidentally does so by flooding it. This is the only film which depicts a regular Disney character engaging with the enemy at war. Bugs Bunny Nips the Nips, 1944. In this one, Bugs Bunny lands on an island in the Pacific and is pitted against a group of highly racially stereotyped Japanese soldiers. Bugs shows no mercy against the Japanese soldiers, greeting them with several racial slurs such as monkey face and slant eyes, making short work of a large sumo wrestler, and bombing most of the Japanese army using various explosives, including grenades hidden in ice cream bars. Since the end of World War II, the cartoon has been banned from public broadcast due to its racially offensive content. Private Snafu, 1943 to 1946. Though made primarily to teach military men proper behavior and skills on duty, Private Snafu should be listed here as an example of a war tune made for the military. It was produced by Warner Brothers, and unlike the Looney Tunes cartoons that were made for general audiences, the Private Snafu cartoons included a lot more risque gags, mostly involving women in various stages of undress, bras, panties, and stockings, but there were times where the women were shown topless, and uses of the words hell and damn, which back then were considered shocking. Private Snafu did almost everything wrong, so that his negative example taught basic lessons about secrecy, disease prevention, and proper military protocols. We hope you found our video interesting. Don't forget to like and subscribe. See you next time!